Thailand has scrapped a plan to order compulsory quarantine for visitors from countries and territories hit hard by COVID-19. That would have applied to China, including Hong Kong and Macau, Italy, Iran and South Korea.
And Thai health authorities now say they're asking travelers from those areas to stay indoors and to report their health status daily. Thailand has today recorded its 48th infection. The patient is a British man who arrived from Hong Kong.
And May Wong joins us now for more on this story. May, lots of confusion in Thailand. So what must tourists coming into the country be doing now?
Well, unfortunately, the confusion stems from the fact that there's been very inconsistent messaging from the authorities. Not just inconsistency, but unclear as well as incomplete messaging given by the government. For one example is the fact that earlier you have the health ministry having a news conference, and at the same time, almost at the same time, the Prime Minister's office was also having a simultaneous news conference. And at one news conference, the health ministry official said there were no new cases in Thailand. And yet at the other press conference, the health ministry says there is a patient. So therein lies this confusion. Now I have to make it clear the fact that the government says at this point in time there is no compulsory quarantine if you are not, or rather if you are unwell. At this point in time, we're talking about the fact that you do not have to self-quarantine if you have no symptoms of the COVID-19. And also the fact that if you're coming from these 4 countries of infectious zones, China, Iran, Italy, South Korea, you have to monitor your own health, and over the next few days, the authorities say, you will have to do self-reporting of your health condition to the authorities, and if you don't do that, then you're likely to be prosecuted. So this is where it stands at this point in time.
May, we know that Thailand gets millions of visitors every year, but with the outbreak, tourism obviously taking a major hit. Is this a sign that they're trying to keep the tourism industry afloat while they keep the virus at bay?
Well, in reality, you know that that's not possible simply because not just Thailand, but all the other countries are feeling the effects of this COVID-19 outbreak. Just to give you a sense as well, look around me. This is usually an extremely busy street because we're right downtown in the heart of the shopping district here in Bangkok. This street is usually packed with a lot of tourists, and on my right here, this is the Erawan Shrine. It's extremely popular, extremely well known, and this place would have been filled particularly with Chinese tourists. Last year, Thailand saw 40 million tourists in this country, and this year alone, they're expecting a drop of almost 10 million tourists, and that will result in obviously a decrease in the tourism receipts of, we're looking at about $13 billion to be lost this year. So that is a huge impact which the government will not really be able to do everything, even though it has said, yes, we are keeping our borders open, yes, we are monitoring the situation very closely with heightened health as well as temperature screenings. But for all you know is the fact that every country, in particularly the region, is really feeling the impact of this all. The government has also rolled out right now an emergency relief package, and that includes 100 billion baht, which is going to be distributed not just to help just the tourism sector, but that will go into, for example, helping the employers enjoy some tax incentives in order not to fire the employees who are not really working at this stage due to the COVID-19. Also, it goes to handing out cash distribution to some of the needy as well as the elderly. And finally, another point is also encouraging the banks in Thailand to give out soft loans to help businesses stay afloat at this stage. So I think it's something that nobody can really avoid, but obviously everyone is trying to keep their head above water at this stage, and also to try and encourage particularly domestic spending, particularly for businesses not to close if they can and not to fire their staff. So we will have to see how going forward the government will be able to perhaps come up with more consistent messaging, more integrated information sharing, and also be clearer in terms of the measures that they're rolling out, not just for the Thai citizens, but also for the visitors coming into this country.
All right, thanks for that update. May Wong speaking to us live from Bangkok.